Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. My name is Terry Frank. I'm with Californians Aware, and we pledged our support for the CLTA before it was in its final form, in principle, in other words. The analysis, today's analysis, notes that previously there were 4 pieces of legislation that had substantially similar provisions as does SCA 14 and indeed the CLTA. If you look at what happened to them, the answer is nothing. These bills were duly introduced, but never got a hearing. In fact, I can't find that they were ever assigned to committee. So to say that this is not a moment inspired by a sudden openness to this kind of idea insults the intelligence of the voters. The voters are not going to put down the 2 measures that will end up on the ballot, if you insist, and make a side-by-side comparison with them any more than any of you, I suspect, is going to do that. They're going to be struck by the fact that there are 2 very, very similar looking measures, at least similar from the 30,000 foot level, and they probably will decline to support either one. And I have to believe that that is the not so buried intent of this legislation, since the legislature had no taste, no stomach for any of this kind of thing in the 4 opportunities to take it up before. And for that reason, we must oppose this legislation.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? If not, let me see if there are questions, comments from committee members, and then we'll allow Ms. Wolk to respond and close. Ms. Chang.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This issue of transparency is actually a very important issue for me. When I first got elected into the legislature, one of my first bills was to require certain state agencies to live stream their board meetings and archive those recordings, and that bill wasn't able to get approved by this legislature. And, there's been similar legislation that has been introduced that either died in committee or wasn't even referred. AB 27, Gorel, 2011. Bill died with no vote in the Assembly Budget Committee. SB 17, Blakesley, 2011. Died awaiting referral in Rules Committee. AB 1685, Morrell, 2011. The bill died in the Assembly Budget Committee without a vote. AB 70, Morrell, 2013. Held on the Assembly Budget Suspense file without a vote. ACA 11, Gorel, 2013. Held on Assembly Budget Suspense file without a vote. SCA 10, Wolk, 2013, never referred to a committee and never granted a vote. ACA 4 and ACA 1 by Olson, held on Assembly Budget Suspense file without a vote. So historically, this legislature has not been open to the idea of transparency. But today, we have a very unique situation because the question before us is, do we support this bill and allow it to compete on the ballot with the existing ballot measure, or do we reject this measure and let the other measure stand alone? And, there are good things with this bill, but I got to tell you, there's been a ballot measure moving forward for quite some time and has been signed up by a million Californians in support of the California Legislative Transparency Act. But the bigger question that we should all ask ourselves is, how does this bill improve upon the California Legislative Transparency Act? Because it's going to be on the ballot. And we have a comprehensive act that we can support that is finally going to address the transparency issues. Or are we going to have a half-baked ballot measure in the form of this piece of legislation. So that's my question: is how does SCA 14 improve upon this DLTA?
We'll allow you to deal with that in your close, I think. Any other questions or comments? Ms. Waldron.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A lot was brought up, obviously, in opposition. Some of the issues I think that make it sort of vague is, requiring audiovisual recording of floor sessions, committee meetings, broadcast. By what date does SCA 14 require these to be done?
By the next business day. And that would be spelled out in 884.
But by what date would all of that be up and running? I mean, would it start the day after the election, or would it be implemented by 2018?
After the action is taken.
Okay. And would it be available just in closed circuit TV or by internet as well?
By internet.
Okay. I think the trouble I have is that we have a initiative that's already on the ballot. It's gone through the process. It'll be voted on. And I don't really see an overriding reason to bring another one that could be confusing to voters, using similar language, not quite the same. I think the one that's on there now is strong and should stand alone. So I would not be supporting this today.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments from members of the committee? Mr. Rambulin?
Permission to read, Mr. Chair?
Sure.
Luke 8:16. No one lights a lamp and then covers it with a bowl or hides it under a bed. A lamp is placed on a stand where its light can be seen by those who enter the house. For all that is secret will eventually be brought out to the open, and everything that is concealed will be brought to light and made known by all. I want to take a moment to thank Dr. Munger and Senator Blakesley for bringing this bill up, for taking the energy and the effort to do CTLA. I think it's important for us to be held accountable by the people. I think it's important for the people to hear and see what we do in their stead each and every day. I think the question that's in front of us right now is whether or not the legislature has some ability to self-moderate and dictate our terms as well. I would like to see where that process takes us. I don't want to take away, though, the fact that I think you have been a champion and really brought something out for us that has really helped to move that agenda forward. Having a private citizen who is challenging us and bringing the best out from us is something that we should all aspire to. We get the government we deserve, and I am glad that there are a public who is challenging us and moving us forward as well. So thank you for the efforts that you have.
Okay, if there's no other questions, comments from committee members, Senator Wilk will allow you to close.
I will. Thank you, Mr. Gordon. And I want to thank Dr. Munger as well for his energy and effort. That's what has brought us here. I think I was pretty clear about that in the beginning. He suggested that our attempt here has been inferior, that there are poison pills, that it is unnecessary. And actually, over the course of the hearings, you've gotten angrier and angrier, and I appreciate that. I think we're on the right path, frankly. My name is on this, and I believe this is a good faith effort, which was begun at the request of Senator Blakesley, to take a look at this in the light of the fact that this was a very serious effort by Dr. Munger to put something on the ballot. We did a good faith effort, particularly with respect to the 72-hour rule. And the reason, the fact was it always is at the last minute. But that doesn't take away from the content or the process by which it is put together. And by the fact that there are flaws in yours that we believe are corrected in ours, and we believe that SCA goes further. I just wanted to tell you about the effort. That's why it takes so long to make sausage and to make good sausage. Involved in this effort and putting together the language and responding to the concerns that were raised, not only by Dr. Munger, by others, the Legislative Council, the Legislative Data Center, Assembly Rules, the Secretary of the Senate, again, not single people, but themselves plus their staffs, many eyes, the CAO of the Assembly, certainly Assemblymember Gordon and myself, the Speaker's office, as well as the Pro Tem's office, proponents, representatives of the proponents, stakeholders in this, Common Cause, League of Women Voters, California Forward, the newspaper publishers, all of whom looked very carefully at the California Legislative Transparency Act and what we were attempting to do with SCA 14 and its implementing statute 884. The ambiguities in the 72-hour CLTA is serious. And I am not an attorney, but I certainly listen carefully to our legislative counsel. The language involving 72 hours before a vote in its final form, this is coming out of the initiative, or for any legitimate purpose, according to our legislative counsel, are at least 3 of the areas that raise serious concerns. There are 7 others that raise serious concerns. I am a proponent of the 72-hour notice. I have that history. I'm putting my name on this. It is clearly spelled out, clearly spelled out. No bill may be passed in either house until the bill in the form to be voted on has been made available to the public by publishing it on the internet for at least 72 hours before the vote in that house. Only exception, emergency by the governor. And no bill, it goes on, that fails to comply with these requirements shall become a statute. We're clear about that. We're also clear, again, this is a constitutional amendment. Once it goes in there, it only is changed by a vote of the people. And that's what we're trying to do. We believe that we've gone further than Dr. Munger's initiative and provided other things. We have gone further in terms of legislative transparency, in terms of all our committees anywhere. The commitment is to make certain that they are available to the public. The other things we added, this very good government change from 31 days before a committee can entertain a new piece of legislation to 16 should have been done many years ago. It is a constitutional change. We're going to do that. And the reason we're going to do that is that it makes sense. How many times have we been here after we've introduced our bills and we sit around for a month? It's not that people can't see what bills have been introduced with the internet and our LegInfo system. No, it's because we've never changed that. We should change it and get to work. We should get to work right away, in my view. But I agree there should be a period of time that people can see the legislation. So I think that's a very good government change. As I said about the 72-hour, we believe with our legislative council and the various input that has been given to us in consultation, that our 72-hour cannot be gotten around. And if there's an attempt to do that, the bill does not fly, does not go. You heard from the newspaper publishers. We've added this issue of whether the material that the legislature, whether our material is in the public domain. There have been issues that the newspaper publishers and others have felt prohibit, or not prohibit, but just create barriers to access to our materials. So that copyright issue and the public domain is really an important thing that is not listed in the initiative. It is the Steinberg bill that gives us the opportunity to try to come to agreement. We have tried. This is our good faith effort to do that. And I reject unequivocally on behalf of all those that have been involved in this very difficult effort, I reject that SCA 14 is flawed, unnecessary, has any poison pills in it, or is inferior. I think it is the superior document, and I would ask that we move this forward. And thank you very much for your attention and your questions.
The chair would entertain a motion to do pass to
So moved.
appropriations. It's moved by Mr. Quirk, second by Mr. Holden. We'll take a roll call, please.
Gordon?
Aye.
Gordon, aye. Chang? Not voting. Chang, not voting. Arambula? Arambula, aye. Bro? Not voting. Bro, not voting. Cooley? Aye. Cooley, aye. Gomez? Holden? Aye. Holden, aye. Jones? No. Jones, no. Quirk?
Aye.
Quirk, aye. Rodriguez? Rodriguez, aye. Waldron? No. Waldron, no.
That motion passes, and I'm going to hold the roll open for just a couple of minutes to see if Mr. Gomez will arrive.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
With that, we can certainly dismiss committee members and.
Consent calendar? Yes.
Oh, we did that.
We did that.
If
Let me add on to
yeah,
consent.
anyone need to add on to consent calendar? We did that earlier. Mr. Jones, aye on the consent calendar.
Aye.
Mr. Quirk, aye on the consent calendar.
But it's not. Ma'am, you had your chance just here.
Yep. So, Mr. Gomez, we have a consent calendar. Ms. Waldron, you wanted to add on to that? An aye? Aye. Consent calendar, aye. There was a motion due pass on SCA 14, due pass to appropriations. The current vote is
6-2.
6 ayes, 2 noes, 2 not voting. SCA 14? Aye. Aye. Mr. Gomez, aye.
Okay, Gomez, aye. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you all very much. We will be adjourned.